Hello YouTube, Vlogging Eric's Rants here, and this week my video is about a deadly factional war within the terrorist group Al-Qaeda that has sprung up over the last few months in Syria. This story is from the ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Network, back at the end of December, and I thought that it was an interesting read, so I decided to share it with you guys today. So, with all of that out of the way, let's begin! So, Al-Qaeda is trying to position itself as a moderate alternative to the now mostly defunct ISIS, or Daesh, and the Assad government. And this is causing a possible civil war to break out within the group between the hardliners loyal to Ayman al-Zawahiri and the more moderate members within Syria who are loyal to Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, led by Abu Muhammad al-Jilani. So, this is basically a factional war between a more moderate faction and a hardline faction. This has happened numerous times. It's done with the Mujahideen, which split off into the Taliban and Al-Qaeda after about the 80s or so. Back in 2013, the most extreme elements of Al-Qaeda that broke away from HTS went on to form Daesh. Back then, Al-Qaeda in Syria was known as the Al-Nusra Front. And since then, alliances have been formed and broken. Al-Nusra and now Tahrir al-Sham have clashed with extremist groups and twice have changed their name. Of course they had to change their name twice because they wanted to continue being armed by the US and other countries. So they changed their name. According to the article, the relationship between HTS and Al-Qaeda is a bit murky, though it should be noted that about 2 years ago HTS did try to distance themselves from Al-Qaeda. This could be why. Let's continue though. The Idlib province is in the northeast of Syria, and it is one of two locations that is still being held by the rebels. And these tensions, as mentioned before, are due to assassinations and detentions that have occurred in that area over the last 3 months, and this includes HTS members. All of this is going to help Assad as he tries to take the last two areas of Idlib back, and the other place, I can't remember its name. So two provincial leaders, Mona al-Muslimi, sounds like an Islamic version of Mussolini, honestly, and Abu Muhammad al-Halabi were ambushed and shot by masked assailants while in HTS territory on the 30th of November and the 10th of December respectively. About a week later, Abu Bakr Raz al-Hosn, the military leader of HTS, a very brutal leader of HTS, was kidnapped and killed. Earlier, nearing the end of November, Mr. al-Jilani ordered the detention of a bunch of members of Al-Qaeda, including two of their most esteemed leaders and founders, both Jordanian, Sami Aradi, who was a top religious figure in Syria, and Ayad Tabasi, the former military commander in southern Syria and brother of now dead Al-Qaeda and Iraq leader Abu Musab al-Zaghari. Now, they were released after pressure from Al-Qaeda and several factions who threatened to leave and protest. Also, members sent to ask why these men have been detained were themselves detained, and an activist in Syria, who doesn't wish to be named as he's in HTS territory and he doesn't want to be killed, said that a bunch of high-ranking members of Al-Qaeda were also detained. So, mass detainings in Idlib province. The leader of Al-Qaeda, Mr. al-Zawahiri, warned them. And then there were clashes between HTS and the other extremist group, Jund al-Malahim, that left 7 people dead. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O, there's already been clashes. And just as a by the way, Jund al-Malahim split from HTS in October. So this has really come to a head around this time. Now, I will admit I haven't seen anything on what's happened since then, so maybe they've been able to hold together in order to oppose Assad and Russia as they bomb the shit out of the area. I don't know. So right now, it does seem that Al-Qaeda are in a bit of a transitional period, at least in Syria. There have already been 3 reincarnations of Al-Qaeda, and at this stage they're trying to be this middle alternative between ISIS and Assad. But we don't know whether they're going to stay moderate or whether they're going to return to being extremist. Originally, Al-Qaeda in Syria was established under the now ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, and it was the fact that Mr. al-Jilani was trying to toe a more moderate line that's what led to the split between Al-Qaeda in Syria, then known as Al-Nusra Front, and Daesh. Then there was another break in the group when Mr. al-Zawahiri split from them. That being said, they haven't dropped their harsh and oppressive implementation of Sharia law. and as a result a lot of people fled to Europe and Turkey to escape this terrorist group. It's definitely weird that one of the most deadly terrorist organisations, the group that did 9/11, is now trying to tone down themselves and focus on possibly holding land in Syria, which is almost certainly not going to happen, since there's probably not going to be a peace deal with Assad bombing the shit out of the 2 remaining provinces of Syria, and with the American Empire-backed Kurds fighting troops from Erdogan's Turkey. The Neo-Ottoman Empire. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description to the article. It's a pretty interesting read. I didn't even know there was a factional split. I knew there was a faction of Al-Qaeda trying to position itself as more moderate. I guess this is the result of that. I haven't seen any updates to the story, so maybe by the bombing by Assad and Russia have reunified them. So, that is my video for this week. I hope you found it interesting. Please rate, comment, share and subscribe, and have a great day everyone.